All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Running with Wolves. We are going to talk today all about my crazy ass morning routine that has helped me build a multi-million-dollar marketing agency by age 25. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I am going to talk to you not only about the importance of a morning routine, but also of routines in general. I am a big believer in the fact that you don't just become successful on accident. I have probably stalked and listened to so many different successful, business owners, people in general. And if you ask any of them, a lot of them will have very similar habits, very similar routines, very similar values. And I truly believe that a lot of that is why people become successful. I actually think success a lot of times is a choice. A lot of times there are so many things that go into it that, in my opinion, most people wouldn't necessarily want to do, be willing to do in order to, achieve the level of success that those people have. So, like I said, this I truly believe is what has created a lot of my success for me. So a lot of you guys don't know, obviously, like the origins of how I got started, but I'll just really quickly tell you before we get into this, because I think it pertains a lot to my morning routines. So when I first started my business, it was at the very beginning of COVID. I was freshly divorced and I could barely afford rent at this point. And I was working for another marketing agency. And because of COVID, everyone started pulling their marketing budgets and my hours got cut from full-time to part-time. And so I made the decision essentially so that I could still make a living wage to freelance and do some marketing. I had been an entrepreneur before from age 18 to 21, was super burnt out, and decided at this point, like I said, I was going to kind of dabble in it again. And basically in 30 days got 10 clients because of our marketing strategy. And then from there was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this as a sign that I need to go full time. So after I went full time, within a year, I'd created, a multiple six-figure business. And at that point, I remember hiring a business mentor who essentially was a business coach, but then also taught me so much about mindset, energy, routines, habits, all of this different stuff that I did not realize how important they were. Because at the point that I hired her, I was running the marketing agency. We were making good money. We had a team of 8 people. And at that point, I had become so burnt out. My mental health was crap. My habits were crap. And I could barely run my business throughout the day because I was like running myself into the ground essentially. And I remember her asking me this question. I was like, I want to create a beast of a business essentially. And she goes, okay, let me ask you this question. And this is not to be offensive at all. What about what you're doing right now shows that you deserve to have that level of business, or that you think that you could handle that level of business right now? And I was like, that's a great question, isn't it? Because the point of that question was that she was like, you are running yourself into the ground. You don't have good routines. You're not taking care of yourself. So you can't take care of your team, your clients. You're really struggling to keep up with marketing and sales. Your business is running you into the ground rather than you running your business. And so if you want to create that level of business, I absolutely think that you can, but you have to establish the habits and the routines of a successful business owner first in order to achieve that level of success. You have to start showing up as that person who could have that kind of success before it comes to you. And I think that was like so important to me and such a wake-up call to me. And since then, I have valued my routines and my habits. And I've noticed a significant difference, not only I would say in my professional life, but also in my personal life and how I show up and the standards that I set and how I hold myself and just all these different things. It's allowed me to work very, very crazy hours, especially even right now. But then it's also allowed me to be the best leader that I can be, to really develop myself and become somebody that my team can look up to and all of this different stuff. So my question to you guys, if you want to be someone who is super successful, would be, do your habits reflect those of a very successful business owner? No matter what level of success you want to achieve, 6, 7, 8, 9 figures, whatever you want to do. Do your habits, do you as a person reflect someone who could run that kind of business and someone who could handle that kind of business right now? And if not, you have work to do, but that's really exciting because you get to grow into that person, obviously. So like I said, let's talk about kind of the routine that I have been doing, I would say probably for like the last year, that has really gotten me to this point and allowed me to create this kind of business. So 5 a.m., alarm goes off, and we immediately do a workout. What I have realized about myself is that if I do not work out first thing in the morning, I will not work out. It's kind of like getting on my Instagram stories, right? As soon as I start my day, I have so much going on that it's like I just completely forget about it. And by the time I'm done at night, I'm like, I am exhausted. And so it just doesn't happen if I try and do it in the afternoon or the evening. So 5 a.m. I get up and the first thing that I do is I work out. The reason behind this, girl math, is like I can't shower first because I have to work out. If I work out before I shower, I'm gonna have to shower again or blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I do a 5 a.m. workout. Usually that's anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Right now, the biggest reason behind me working out is not like the physical aspect of things. It's more so about my mental health. I've definitely noticed a difference in terms of my level of anxiety, in terms of my level of depression, in terms of all of those things. If I am or am not working out, like if I'm not working out, I get overwhelmed so quickly. If I am working out, I feel like I can handle more for some reason. And then on top of that, because I am working such grueling hours, in my opinion, if I don't take care of my body, I'll get sick basically. So I have to work out every single day. I do a 5 a.m. workout, and it doesn't have to be crazy. It has to be enough to basically me get out any of that pent up energy out. And it also needs to be enough for me to move my body, get the blood flowing, all that good stuff, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Sometimes I do a home workout. I'm looking into other workouts right now. I used to do Pilates, but that like just wasn't enough. So yeah, right now I do a lot of weights, cardio, all that good stuff. So after I do my workout and before I do my shower, I actually do an ice bath. Now, this is not something that I used to do, but it is something that I was shown, I would say probably about 6 months ago. And I'm not kidding you guys. So I have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And this is something where like, I don't think I have ever felt this good without medication. It's insane. So you do an ice bath and you can start for 60 seconds. But I've worked my way up to typically about 5 minutes, and something about like the breathing, the mental tenacity of having to stay in an uncomfortable position and situation. And then also like the dopamine increase. Oh my gosh, next level. And I always used to roll my eyes at people who did that. I was like, it's so overhyped. Oh my gosh. But as soon as you start doing it, I think that you fall in love with it. And it's been something that I have noticed a significant increase in my mental health because I've been doing it. So I'm definitely gonna continue doing it. So something that's really cool, fun fact for you, with the ice bath, your dopamine levels increase actually by 250% when you are in ice cold water for more than 60 seconds for 24 hours, you guys. That is insane. So anyways, ice baths are amazing. And something I actually really like to do while I'm in the ice bath is I will typically listen to a podcast, and it's usually going to be some sort of like success podcast, mindset podcast. I love Gary Vee. I love how motivational he is. So I listen to a lot of Gary Vee and just him yelling at me, to be totally honest. And that's what works for me, and it kind of gets me in the right headspace for the day. Now, when you do an ice bath, you are not supposed to immediately get into like a hot shower or something. You're supposed to let your body regulate its temperature on its own. So while I'm getting out of the ice bath and before I get into my shower, I do a journaling, a visualization, and a meditation exercise, which usually I would say takes me about 10 minutes. So I do a visualization and meditation exercise where I basically, this was something that I was taught by a mindset coach a really long time ago. You do meditative breathing, and you close your eyes and you essentially envision, your next goal, which for me would be an 8-figure business, and how that version of you shows up throughout their entire day, whether it be with relationships, whether it be, with their team, with their clients, showing up in content, how they work through and walk through any of those things, how they hold themselves, right? Visualize yourself going through everything you have to do that day as that version of yourself. And it really helps to kind of get you into the right headspace and mindset, and helps you start showing up that way throughout the day. And then in terms of journaling, a lot of times I just do like a gratitude journal. I really like starting my day with gratitude because I feel like it puts me in the right, like, positive headspace. Otherwise I just get really stressed out. And sometimes this is actually something I do in my ice bath. I will like say out loud, I'm like, I'm grateful for this, that, and the other. But a lot of times I'll just journal it. And then if there's anything else in my head, whether it be a content idea, anything I need to talk to my team about, anything like that, I just brain dump it all out. So I'm ready to go to start my day. So that's when I will usually get ready. Now we're at around, I would say 6:15. So I start to get ready for the day. Takes me about 45 minutes, I would say. And then at 7 o'clock, I take my dog Shadow out. I let him kind of run around. We do our thing, get him ready. 7:30, I get my coffee situated, my water. I have my little Stanley cup over there. I try and drink as much water as I can throughout the day. I am a coffee fiend, unfortunately. So I drink a lot of espresso, which is, I would say I'd probably start my day out with about 4 shots of espresso. Everyone is gonna be like, you're insane. But that is unfortunately like the level that I need to be at. So I have that espresso, I have my water, I have my vitamins. And then at 8 o'clock, I basically start my day with content creation. So I batch all of my TikToks the week prior, but I get onto my Instagram stories and I always sell our brand, a specific offer, I handle objections, any of those things. So from 8 to 9, I'm solely focused on filming content. I love starting my day with content. And that's something that to me has made a really, really big difference because it's very similar to working out. If I don't film content right in the beginning of the day, I start handling all of my team stuff and my client stuff and I get really stressed out. And then it just doesn't actually happen, or I don't show up with the right energy or any of those things. And so for me, starting my day with filming content enables me to get it out of the way, and then I jump into everything else. So right at 9 o'clock, usually I end up having like my meetings and stuff, depending on what day it is. So that is my morning routine. And like I said, it is really, truly something that has changed the game for me in terms of how I perform at work and also just how like I operate as a human being in general, which has been so nice. And the last thing that I will say is that a lot of people will be like, what about kids? What about this? What about that? Like, why are you getting up that early? I became an excuse eliminator. This is what I need in order to feel good in terms of my business, in terms of how I show up, and in order to operate at the level that I do. And so there's a lot of people that wouldn't really want to start their day at 5 a.m. and do all of these things. There are days where I don't want to do these things. There are days where I really don't feel like it. However, I do it because I know the results that it creates for me, and that is what is most important. So that's what I would say to you guys is if there's anything where you feel like you don't want to do those things, but you know that you need to, whether it be content, working out, any of those things, become an excuse eliminator, and you literally have to just do it. There's this rule called the 3-2-1 rule in your brain, because if you're a procrastinator like me, you're like, oh, I'll do it, and then you never do it. The 3-2-1 rule like forces you. So if you plan out your day and you're like, I know I have to do it at this time, at this day, you just say in your brain, 3-2-1, and on one, you literally just go do it. That's what I do with my ice bath, with working out, everything. And as soon as you're in the flow of it, you feel good. You enjoy doing it. You're like, oh yeah, I know why I do this. And so as long as you can really get yourself to that point where you become an excuse eliminator, you use the 3-2-1 rule, there is nothing that is stopping you from becoming successful. Now, you don't have to do all of this, but again, I think that your habits really form who you are and the success that you're able to create. I encourage you to challenge yourself professionally, all of those different things, so that you can really get to that next level of success. So hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed like a different episode and hearing a little bit more about me personally and how I kind of operate at the level that I do and how I've been able to create this company. Because really, I would say entrepreneurship is about so much more than just like strategy. It is about everything. It's so integral into your routine. Like, you as the business owner really truly have to be operating at a certain level in order to see that success, which most people will not do, but the ones that do are the ones that see success. So I will see you guys in the next episode, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye guys.